cousins were valedictorians, so I was
you were only the top
2.5%.
2.5%.
I was the loser.
Only.
What does your dad say to you in his accent about that?
About that?
Little more try.
More like, you can be anything, just don't get a B.
So, funny story, my husband Michael, his sister's name is Valerie. Her
Let's
married name
have a
is
chat, talk this and that with BB and Jaisy.
Hello. This is the PV and Jaisy show.
Hi.
I am going to start to my left with the beautiful
Bill Stedham, who's
Awesome.
not pregnant.
Big Bill and beautiful.
Yes.
BBB. Triple B.
I'm Sarah and I am pregnant. Well, I guess that's what we're announcing right now.
No, that's not what we're announcing.
Yeah, I'm Jaisy George. And yes, I think this is the first time you've announced it on the podcast.
Yeah, which
she is with child.
I can't hide it anymore.
Yes,
So
she's popped. The
So-
boobs and the belly.
yeah, I think my boobs are bigger than my belly, so I'm pregnant in my boobs. Don't look. Everyone's looking now. Okay. So anyway, so today we have a guest, and I'll start by saying, so our office in real estate in general, we get a lot of new people in. Real estate can be a little bit of a revolving door, and our guest has been with us about 6 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was a client also, and which I didn't get a chance to meet you when you were a client, but I will
We're
say
the worst clients.
whatever. No, I didn't hear that. It would have been marked in your file, and I didn't see that in there. So
A red folder.
but I will say this, that Noelle, and that's who our guest is today, super funny. I love sitting when she's in the office. I love sitting. I don't get a lot of work done because I like to listen to what she says. She doesn't distract me. I like the distraction. I let her distract
I don't
me.
get work done. She doesn't distract me, but
Well,
I don't get
it's
work
not
done.
her fault. I am distracted, but that's on me. But she's so funny, and I don't know a lot about Noelle, so I think we're going to ask some questions today. And
We're
you
gonna
can
get to know you.
Yeah. So
make
Noelle,
you
I'm going to
cry.
let you introduce yourself. How would you? And I actually put on here that you would describe yourself the most as the Pinterest mom, which is totally untrue.
You put the Pinterest mom?
She did. It's right here in black and white.
Tell us, what have you been pinning?
What have I been pinning? A whole lot of stuff that I haven't been buying, that I haven't been making,
Perfect.
that I haven't been doing.
Don't you feel like this
Kindred
weird
spirits
pressure
here.
with Pinterest? Like I do. I don't.
Yes,
I can't
I
get
do.
on there.
I don't think I have a Pinterest.
Don't
Don't
do it.
I'm not a planner like that.
Well, I'm not a planner. I saw a meme the other day that had a picture of like the wood beadboard background and the ugly couch, and it was like, remember before Pinterest, and we used to be happy with our clean living room?
With what we have, yeah. Well,
With our vanilla?
tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Excuse me. I'm Noelle Linn. I'm from Stephenville. I lived here for 6 years, I think, since 17, 18, 20, 22, 5 years. I have 2 kids. They're boys. I'm married.
They're angels, aren't they?
They're perfect angels.
She doesn't snore anymore, we don't think.
I don't snore anymore.
She got a
My
nose
parents
job.
Had a nose job.
New year, new
Now,
nose.
were you, so you were born and raised in Stephenville?
I was born, yes, I was raised in Stephenville until I was 10, and then we lived 6 years in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Because my parents wanted to traumatize me, and then we wanted to traumatize me again by moving me back to Huckabay.
Where is Huckabay?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. There was 19 people in my graduating class.
That's exactly how I would imagine a city named Huckabay.
Huckabay. Yeah. And the only store in Huckabay is called the Hannibal store.
The Hannibal.
They serve food.
Okay.
People
No.
food?
No.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Nope.
You know, I always thought
Was
like,
that what visitors disappear? They go through there and serve food?
that's why there was only 19 in their class.
Nope.
It was my first job.
Nope for me.
And I never saw a human eaten. And Miss Carol made some really badass fried pies.
So I always thought like it would be so cool to grow up in a small town and have a small graduating class, but I think the pressure to perform, because like, yeah, I was 19th in my graduating class. I'm like, oh, how many were in your class? 19.
You know,
That would be me.
I have never been asked where I graduated in my graduating class, and I don't know that I know either from
I was
college or from
in
high school.
Mansfield and it was huge, so I was somewhere probably average, mediocre. You know, that's about that.
Well, I was mediocre, I know that, but I still don't know what number it was.
I don't either.
I
Well,
know.
and if you don't know what number it was, it wasn't
remember.
good.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I was going to get a
I had
tattoo.
straight A's.
It wasn't
but I still
really
don't
good
know
or
what
really
number it
bad
was.
if you don't
I
know.
was
what
going to get a
number.
tattoo of my.
Oh gosh. Okay. What number were you? What number were you,
School alma
Jay-Z?
mater because she's wearing her sweater
my-
from middle school.
Straight from middle school.
What
Were you the
number were you?
valedictorian?
I was not valedictorian. I wasn't in top 10. I was number 12.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Of how many people?
550 something.
Well,
Tom, how many
impressive.
times do we talk about this? Do y'all talk about this at home? Like you call her 12?
No, because
so many family members that were one.
yeah, all of my cousins were
you're the black
valedictorians,
sheep.
so I
So
was
you were only the top
loser.
2.5%?
I was the loser.
Only?
What does your dad say to you in his accent about that?
About that.
Little more try.
More like you can be anything, just don't get a B.
So funny story, my husband, Michael, his sister's name is Valerie. Her married name is Valerie Dick. And she was, just like it sounds, she was the valedictorian of her college. And so she made it on the
didn't know they did
radio. Yeah, she made it on the radio that, her name was Valerie Dick, and she was a valedictorian. That's what her name. It was in her name. Yeah.
I'm sure she's real happy listening back to this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's proud of that.
Valerie, you did great. Number
Yeah.
one.
Other than the last name that you picked, but
We're glad you landed an A and not the D.
Well, she
both.
got the D.
she got both. Okay, so growing up in Stephenville, and you said Atlanta? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I lived 6 years in Atlanta, Georgia.
And
My
was
dad-
it like a job transfer or
My
just?
dad was a pilot, and he
Okay.
went
Oh,
to
okay.
work from a commuter airline for Delta, or no, for AS. Delta, and then he worked for American when we moved back to
I've got
to Huckabay.
Travel through Atlanta quite a bit.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and used to have stores that I oversaw in Atlanta. It was kind of a nice city. I don't know about lately though.
I don't know. I
You know?
haven't been back in many years.
So Huckabay, that's in Texas?
Yes, it's actually
Okay.
like just about an hour and a half northwest of here.
I got to tell you, an hour and a half from here, none of us have heard of the city before.
Yeah, because it's so tiny, but it's not so far from Stephenville, right? Because that
No,
would
it's
be
like
south
20-minute
of us.
drive.
Yeah.
From Stephenville. I was better than all those people, so I left that class and went to an alternative school.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's all
I don't have to
Hi.
So did you go to Tarleton then?
No.
Okay, I thought that was a requirement. Like if you were born in Stephenville,
My
you have to
alma
go
mater
back.
is University of Phoenix.
Oh, there you go. Ooh,
Online.
hey, mine's
Phoenix,
TCC.
where you can have class anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't graduate. I'm like a sophomore.
I didn't either. That's why. That's
My
why
alma mater is University of Phoenix, which I didn't graduate from, but it's my alma mater.
it's where I went.
I can claim it.
I've taken classes at University of Phoenix before.
It's a great school. I think we
I
have
still
Joel.
have the
Did he?
money.
Get it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was 40 years ago where they were trying to do
Before the
non-traditional.
internet.
Before the internet, it was quite interesting.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
had a
I-
baby at the time though, and so I was trying to work nights at a cheese factory and do that during the day.
Cheese
What
factory.
the heck is a
Can you
cheese
please
factory?
They
tell
make
us?
cheese
And
Where
you
is
work
this?
nights
in
there.
Stephenville.
They're making the cheese at night.
I worked a night shift. They were open
my
24 hours.
So what
cousin
kind of
worked there.
cheese?
The cheese
And
plant?
yeah, and he would bring like these big wheels of cheese
Yeah.
for Christmas. Like that was his like. I
a
can't
thing.
see my
That's
hands.
what he's
It's bigger than my
bringing.
head. They're huge.
It's a thing. My brother-in-law
That's pretty
actually,
cool. I'd take it.
Yeah, I was just a bottom feeder, but my brother-in-law actually worked there, and he worked his way up in the company, and he's done real well.
The head
Is
cheese.
he the head
He was the
cheese?
head cheese guy. His name's Alex.
So let's go back to this Pinterest thing. So I go on Pinterest all the time to get recipes for the different
Sure
things
you
that
do.
I do. And then I make those and I tweak them around. That's most of the things I do in my dinner. came
They have
from
a
that.
Facebook page that's called Menterest, but it's not anything like Pinterest. And if you show it to a girl, you get kicked out.
What are you talking about?
It's a Facebook page and it's all men and it's things that are not appropriate and it's called Menterest.
Yeah.
What are they? What
I
are
can't
they?
tell you. No one's
menning?
ever seen that. No one's ever.
I think I'm gonna have to go undercover.
But look at Tom.
So if I
Tom
had
knows.
been a
Tom's looking
subject
it up
on
right now.
Pinterest, how much would you pay me for this intel?
Yeah. We're gonna have to look it up.
If you are a guy and you get caught showing a girl your Menterest page, you get kicked out of the group. It's like a little cult, but no, I was making a joke about Noelle, and not to make a hit on you, but I don't think you're a traditional mom, and I think that's a good thing. I don't think you're Martha Stewart Pinterest mom, right?
Well, Martha Stewart did do a stint in prison.
Okay,
So,
just
Okay.
that part. You're the
I
Snoop
agree.
Dogg part of Martha.
That's true.
Okay.
to clear my name, I've actually never been to prison. But yes, I'm not. I don't think I've ever been a
I think that's the
traditional
best
mother.
kind of mom to be.
Me too.
One that's been in prison?
Well, I mean, no.
Now,
But I
Martha
think
Stewart's got $1 billion+ bucks. so-
I think it's great I think that I don't have a normal parenting approach. I think I'm like not crazy, but I play with my kids a lot where I'm like, acting like a dinosaur. Like at any moment in our house, there's probably just strange sounds and crazy things
Oh,
happening.
here comes Mama Dinosaur.
But
I
it's-
was number 12 in
Yeah.
my class.
What place was mommy in your class, boys?
I act like a dinosaur now that my kid has a job. I'm like, I can't reach the check.
Now, how many kids do you have?
Two.
Both boys?
Both boys. Christian's 16. Jordan is 13.
See,
so
that's what makes a
teenagers.
crazy mom. So tell me about like your parenting strategy.
Carpet the world or put on shoes has been something that's said a lot in our house. Both of them are super bright, brilliant kids. They're handsome, they're funny, they're smart. They check all the boxes except they're like always getting the principal called.
Yeah.
And it's not even for behavior stuff necessarily. It's like, Jordan can't be still. Jordan can't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is brand new information.
Yeah.
Every time.
He's not keeping his hands to himself.
But they stifle so much of that stuff, and it's hard because, if you've got 25 kids in a class, it is hard. But you don't want to stifle that for when they get out of school, because that's what everyone's like, I want that energy that they have. Like, we all crave that as adults.
Because you crush their soul in
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or they're taught at a very early age that you have to sit still. You have to not be curious. You can't like go off and wander and,
One of those girls
explore.
that's be sweet.
Yeah. Be sweet,
Yeah.
be nice, always smile.
Yep.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the school is, and I'm not bashing public school. I, pay the taxes. My kids go. If I don't like it, I can homeschool. But we all know that I would have cirrhosis of the liver by Wednesday, so I don't. But I think that school is like square peg round hole for my kids, and it's very much designed for compliant kids, girls, that type of thing. So I don't know. I don't care if they're a C child, make a C. If you're an A child, make an A, and we're not going to budge on those standards. But at the same time, I don't think that college is necessary to make a lot of money. Unless I think that everything in our society has just gone so cookie cutter. Like, I want to be a realtor, so I need to go get a degree. Well, you don't have to have a degree to get a real estate license.
Yeah.
You do to have be a doctor.
Yeah, I could tell you something.
Well, Dr. Death didn't, but that's a different podcast.
Can always do anything.
One of
Can be
our
anything.
agents, I happen to be married to her, dropped out of school in 9th grade. And she's incredibly successful in her own right.
Wow.
And very smart.
And Dan Weaver?
Yep.
And Dan Weaver.
Wow.
She reads more
And
books
Dan Weaver.
than anybody that I know, including myself, and she never reads fiction. She's always reading nonfiction and business books and knows more than anybody that I know with any degree anywhere.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And like you said, there's this world of because you're supposed to, and I think college is one of those things like, it's because you're supposed to.
Yeah, but the trade schools, I listen to Mike Rowe's podcast every single week. I like him. And I love the fact that he's reading his mom's book on air right now. Actually, he's letting her read it, Vacuuming in the Nude. Something I try to get Ann to do all the time. We don't have carpet, so what can I say?
Oh my gosh.
But I'm going to buy her the book and say, hey, go
This has
forth
some
and do this.
Good news.
But Mike Rowe's always talking about the importance of trade schools and why not every kid needs to go to college. And I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Well, and especially, if you have an inkling to do something or a curiosity to do something, you spend all this money in college and then, or have debt, unless they waive it for you at some point. That's another podcast. But you have all this and then it's like, okay, but I still want to go do this thing. And you're starting from scratch again.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the necessity of going to college.
I don't think it's for everybody at all.
It's not.
I don't either. I think that it's great if it's in your heart to do. My sister, she went and got her master's degree. She's a counselor now. She's living her dream. But you got to know what your dream is. And this is not an ROI. I used to manage college girls I ran my family's business for a long time. It was a boot store, the Western store. And they would graduate college and be like, ready for my raise. And I'm like, honey, you're about to get fired. You suck.
Yeah.
Like, you don't come to work.
That piece of paper doesn't guarantee anything. Yeah. So tell us how you went. So after college, what did you do before real estate?
I was in insurance for the last 4 years since I moved up here. But like I said, before we lived in Stephenville, so the Grand Entry Western Store, that was my grandfather's business that he started out of a truck at a rodeo in 1956.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it grew to be what it is today. And then
And it's still there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We were even on the Conan O'Brien show.
Really?
Really?
It was
Did you
fun.
meet him?
Yeah, spent all day with them. It was fun.
That's cool.
It was fun. I thought it was a prank call, so I actually threw the number in the trash, and then I was like, what if it is?
What if it is? Yeah.
Anyway, but no, they've been real successful, and I did that for 10 years, and that gave me like a huge, I don't know, hand up in life, I feel like, because I learned practical stuff like how to do business things.
Yeah.
And
Useful things.
yes, useful things.
And so that was your grandpa's business. So is it still a family business? Like
it is.
your...
My aunt has it.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So cousins and stuff work there too, or?
Yeah, they just recently opened a gun shop too. It used to be there was a Western store where they have the clothing and the boots and stuff, and then there was a rodeo shop where they had like, it's a shop for rodeo stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But tack shop. But they shut that down, and they have a gun store now.
Oh, that's awesome.
super cool.
Beer bait and ammo.
Beer bait and ammo, girl.
So you're a boot specialist?
Somewhat.
Somewhat? Cool.
Somewhat.
Do you have a lot of boots?
I used to. I don't have them anymore.
You don't have
What'd you do to them?
You hung up your boot shoes.
I hung up my boot shoes. I gave a lot of them away. I kind of wish I would have kept some for boots and barbecue, but
Yeah.
because I had, my
You got
sales
rid of
reps,
all of them.
Yeah, my sales
my
reps,
gosh.
I would get like free pairs. Yeah.
Man, I grew up in Texas, but didn't grow up in the culture of like Western.
You don't look like a
stuff.
cowgirl.
Yeah, I'm not. And so, funny thing is, when I was in high school, one of my best friends, she was white, and she was the controversy. But so something fun that we did one year for Christmas was I was like, I will get you something really Indian, and she got me cowboy boots. So I got her like this really pretty like Indian outfit, and she got me this really cool pair of cowboy boots. And the crazy thing was though, when I saw like how much they were, I'm like, oh my gosh, like why are cowboy boots this expensive?
You could kill some animals.
It's crazy. But I will say
elephants and stuff.
those cowboy boots I still have, and they're still like pretty cool, and they'll last you your whole entire life. But also that whole thing is just a big culture of
Huge culture. Not
Yeah.
one that I ever wanted to be necessarily. I never wanted to marry a rodeo guy.
Is your husband a rodeo guy?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wear
So he doesn't
cowboy
look like one,
boots
but-
almost every day.
and you're not in the rodeo.
I'm not in a rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a
It's the
rhinestone
style.
cowboy.
I have a lot of things.
Oh,
Like
boy.
my
Baby.
grandpa is like in the Hall of Fame. My grandma was in the Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
My
That's
uncle-
cowboys?
Yeah, my grandpa, my papa, he died about 8 years ago, I think. But he was in the Hall of Fame. He won Madison Square Garden back when that was a big deal.
That's awesome.
He met my grandmother, was a Rockette. My grandmother,
cool.
the story is she lied about her age. She joined the Rockettes. She was beautiful and obviously able to dance better than her predecessors or us. But they met and they married like on a whim, and he moved her to Lingleville, Texas. And if you don't know where Huckabay is, you don't know where Lingleville is.
I'm gonna say no.
She was an artist, and she painted and did sculptures and all
So
kinds of
did
stuff.
you ever dream
Wow.
of going into Rockettes?
No, but I did want to move to New York City and play my guitar on the street for money. That's what I told my mom I wanted to do in high school.
How do you think that would work out?
Probably about the same way it worked out in Stephenville.
Sorry, I got distracted. Somebody just walked in the door and I was like staring. I wasn't listening. Can you say that? I'm just kidding. I'll rewind it later. It's fine.
So how did you meet your husband?
I was working a second job at Chili's, and he was at the bar after work, and we kind of like
He wouldn't leave.
locked
Locked
eyes,
eyes.
and I was gonna go there and clean that table next to him one more time because I was like, oh, who's that cutie? Anyway, he was up there with some buddies that he used to work at with he was a machinist, so they worked at a local factory, and or not a factory, they build like parts for oil fields or whatever. But anyway, it was a mutual friend, and so he asked about me, and then I asked about him, and it turns out that my brother, Seth Llewellyn, has known him for like 8 years, that I've been crying on his shoulder being single.
And
And he didn't
never
hook you
introduced
up.
y'all.
No!
Well, the world
So,
hooked
It
you
is
up.
weird to
God hooked you up.
weird to hook your
Chili's
sister
hooked
up,
you up.
right?
I mean, that's true, but he's a genuinely good guy. And I was like, Seth, why didn't you tell me about this Ryan guy? And he's like, oh, y'all would never get along. I was like, I've been talking to him for the last 8 hours on the phone. And he's like, that's why, because y'all both talk too much. Anyway.
So were you raised with boys, or you have a sister
Yes.
too?
I have a sister. She's 10 years younger than me. So
Okay.
we didn't always live together because I left home when I was 17. So
Okay.
we didn't live together that long.
And then so just one sister, one brother.
two brothers, one sister.
Oh, gotcha.
And then
Okay.
I'm second in line.
Okay, so you were ready for the boy thing then. So you're ready for your son.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what I would do with
See,
girls.
that's what I'm freaking out. I had 2 brothers. Like I was raised with wolves and boys, and it's like, here comes God has a really good sense of humor.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Good luck. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. I told there's some girls at the office that give me a hard time, and I'm like, I'm not putting a bow on her. Like she can be in a white onesie and it's fine. They're like, no, you have to. I'm like, okay, you can dress her if you want.
Yeah.
That's what
No.
she's doing.
I
Gotta
would
get her
just
some
be
camo.
like, hey, it sounds like you guys want to foot the bill for the clothing.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Dress her how you
We
want.
love it.
She's just gonna poop on it, so who cares?
Yeah. And the babies don't know what they're wearing. They don't care. Like, they're not going to put on something and be like, this is blue. I'm a girl. I
I'm
should
like,
wear
they're gonna be
pink.
lucky if I put a onesie. Like just a diaper's fine.
Yeah.
Covers all the important parts for now.
That's all
Exactly.
you need.
Exactly.
You're good to go.
I could have wore just a diaper till I was about 13. Would have been
You're
fine.
wearing a Just diaper now.
I know.
You could be
I'm
fine.
wearing a onesie right now.
If you're not watching, she's wearing just a diaper.
Yeah.
I've totally lost what has happened.
Bill's
in
like,
the
me
show.
too.
Yeah.
I love
That
it.
baby's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
That baby's gonna be fun.
That is one
He
thing.
will go to high school, or not high school, kindergarten, and pee on himself in front of his friends one time.
Yeah.
And then he'll be potty trained, so don't worry about it.
Well, it's a girl.
Or her.
That's one thing though about parenting is when people say like, oh, there is like a natural instinct. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was like, I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to be like, what the hell do I do? But there really is a natural instinct that's like, oh, okay, I got to do this. Oh, I haven't slept in a couple of days. It's going to be fine. Like,
Hey,
Yeah.
it's like Corrie ten. I hate to bring this down like 40 levels and talk about Corrie ten Boom and the Holocaust, but she was asked one time how she could forgive these men that did what they did to her, and she said, "Well, you haven't had to, so you don't know how to do that
You
until
don't
it's
know,
in
yeah.
front of you."
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
same thing with kids.
that's true.
So you're well read, obviously.
I'm an audible girl. I'm well listened.
Well listened. Okay.
That counts.
So speaking of the Holocaust, we have a little. I'm just kidding.
I'm Jewish. I really am.
We have a little segment we like to call.
Tales from the Lockbox.
And while Jaisy's telling her story, if you have something funny you want to share, it doesn't have to be real estate related, but if you have a funny story, you can be thinking about it. But Jaisy's going to share one first.
Yes. Okay. So I've got 2 boys, and so boys are boys. So mine are 4 and 2, and so our 4-year-old, since he started pre-K, has just been talking like crazy. Like everything is a conversation. He just says the funniest things. So just yesterday, our 2-year-old, his favorite thing to do now is he's kind of in that process of like where he knows when he has to use the bathroom, but also he doesn't want to go sit on the potty because then
'Cause he's doing
that
important things, Mom.
that just takes away from his life. So constantly what he does is he literally just takes his diaper off and poops on the floor. So so yesterday I'm sitting there because they didn't have school yesterday. I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's poop somewhere. And sure enough, he's standing right there and he doesn't have his diaper on, but then there's like poop on his butt. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I said out loud, Tom's working. So it's just me and the boys inside. And I'm like, where's the poop? I can't find the poop. And Xander goes, look at his butt. It comes from the butt. I go, oh, thank you.
You didn't know that, Mom.
I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy.
That is awesome.
Thank you. You're right. It does come from the butt. It's not in the butt. It's somewhere around this
So
house.
since the boys are talking, you have to do this. Is what my brother gives us for Christmas every year. It's a quote calendar, and every month
that
is a
would be
different
such a good
quote
idea.
from one of the 4 kids, and it is the best gift.
That
ever.
is such a good idea. I'm writing that down
It's a great
because I have to do
gift.
that.
So he just saves it in his phone, and then at the end of the year, he
That's a
picks
really
the
good
best
idea.
ones. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that with the quote thing with my kids. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're full of.
Well, you still have time.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still say
Because
Some of it you may have
bet
to
their
bleep out,
quotes
right, at
now
this age?
you could do an X-rated one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have anything that's coming into mind?
Oh man, my mind is swirling. Yes, I do. My older son would not. Christian. He would get all of his. He was into cars at the time. That was big. So he got his Mater and his
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen, and then he just quit going to the potty. Like quit completely. And
So was that his reward for going to the potty?
Yes.
And
so
then
every
once
time
he
would
got it,
go,
he
and then he got
stopped.
his lineup, and he was like, "Beep this, I'm
Yeah.
out." And so I was pregnant at the time, and I was a single mom. I couldn't afford the diapers I was putting on him, much less. So I'm getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, I can't. This is a financial
Yeah.
decision that has to be made. I can't buy 2 sets of diapers. So I just started spanking him, and all these Pinterest moms are like, oh my God, you can't spank him because it's going to traumatize him. And I'm like, screw this. Y'all aren't buying the diapers. I'm spanking him.
Exactly.
And I spanked him like twice, and I told him to go water my flowers, you know, so that, because we lived out in the country.
Yeah.
And then, which brings me to my next story. And yeah, he was fully potty trained. Just
From spanking and flowers.
I was like, you jerk, I've been buying diapers for like 8 months. Anyways, and then, so fast forward, we live in Mansfield, and now Jordan's 13, but he was probably 11 or 12 at the time. So I go outside, I'm doing something in my front yard, and my neighbor comes out and says, hey, y'all got something wrong with your bathroom inside? And I was like, no, not that I know of. Why are you asking? He's like, well, just saw Jordan out here peeing in the front yard. I was like, oh my God. I said, was he at least facing the fit? Nope, he was facing the cul-de-sac.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I'm like, Jordan, that's cute now, but that's like a felony later in life.
Yeah. Well, my nephew, that's how he learned, was outside. But I don't know that anyone stopped long enough to say only pee outside. And so he got caught a couple times pooping and got in trouble for it. So, we don't poop outside.
That's great.
It's just peeing outside.
Oh my gosh.
You know, with that, I think maybe
Yes,
it's
level up. We should
Yeah.
Level way up.
So this comes from Jim Lovell. There's people who make things happen. There's people who watch things happen. And there are people who wonder what happened. To be successful, you need to be a person who makes things happen. And
good.
Noelle, I think you're one of those people.
Well, thank you.
Make it happen.
Thank you.
And you make us laugh the whole
Yeah.
time.
I wish I could just get paid for that.
Yeah.
You could. There's a job. It's called comedian. They have jobs.
Just
like
write down your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
I guess
And
so.
call Conan O'Brien and say, hey, I want to be your co-host.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I told Ryan that he is one lucky dog because his co-host tried to scoop me up. He invited me to a hotel party up in Dallas. And
Can you imagine how different your life
I had
would be?
just enough morals not to go.
Yeah.
Again, could have been a financial
Dang,
excuse.
morals.
Just
gotta
kidding,
make
babe.
money.
Love you.
Is he going to listen to this, you think?
Hey, I don't know. Yeah, he probably will.
Okay, hi.
He actually wants his own podcast.
Does he
I
really?
keep telling him to do it, yeah. He's a big sports guy, and he's like really knowledgeable. He hates Cowboys fans, sorry.
That's okay.
They're all
so
bandwagon.
We hate ourselves. It's fine.
We need him to come on and be on the
Yeah.
podcast.
He's very well educated on sports and politics.
So does his phone all day long go da-na-na, da-na-na? Yeah.
Yeah. So like when we're
Sports
having
and
sex.
politics.
I actually get turned on by
Hold on, babe.
that sound. Ooh, it's time, baby.
Tommy Lasorda just farted. I got a notification here. Hold on. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes,
We really
thank you for
appreciate
being
it.
here. Having me. It was
And
an honor.
your husband is invited too. If he ever wants to come, this is open invitation.
Do you hear that, babe?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him.
I think he would be good.
He would.
I want to talk to him about you a little bit too.
I wonder if we could have both on at the same time.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That would be awesome.
That would be
That
good.
would be fun.
In fact, I've got a podcast coming up that might work with.
Ooh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Duly noted.
We could have couples.
Oh.
Okay, well, I just want to thank God for.
The Academy. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you
I'm
guys.
sorry. I'm the one that was supposed to wrap it up. I was like, no, go ahead. I was waiting on Bill. I was like, come on, Bill. It's
She's looking at me like I forgot my part.
It's one of these awkward phone calls. We're like, okay, well,
well.
that's what my mom.
Well, I think it's about time to say goodbye.
That's what when I call my
This
mom,
is
I'm
the
like,
part where we walk out in the
I'm
driveway and we
almost-
say it again.
Yeah, I'm almost home. I guess I'll let you go.
Oh no, Tom's dad will just say, "Okay, that's enough," and then that's the end of the conversation. That I've heard that phrase said multiple times. Like, okay, that's enough.
I've had enough of this.
My dad's like, well,
Yeah, that's how you have to start. You start with that.
talk to you later.
Yeah. And then
guess
like
that's
one more
all.
thing and then you have to do it all again.
I guess that's
Well, that was my fault. But thank you for coming. We appreciate it. We've had a fun time. Please follow, like, subscribe, all the podcast stuff. Let us know how we're doing. And if you'd like to be a guest, let us know. Thank you so much for tuning in. And with that, we out.
out.
Bye.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and J.